Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ Envy is out promoting his book, but we got a special guest here today, Miss Michelle Williams.
Good morning, Angela and Charlamagne.
How's your energy?
Wonderful. It's wonderful because you have
The
followed Santo to me down.
Well, I had to because you're in here promoting 7 deadly sins. I don't know what you're still holding on to.
I was very offended that you did that when I walked in. My energy's right.
Well, she came in here and broke the mic, so.
But yes, that was Act 2. What y'all are seeing right now is Act 2. Take 2.
Wait a minute. See, Angela, the streets be saying you be telling on people. Did she just say I broke the mic?
We checked the cameras because you came in here. The mic's been working fine, and then all of a sudden.
Oh, you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting to say something to me and about me.
Wow.
It's okay.
Well, there's nothing bad anyone can say about you.
Nothing except
that you
for
broke the
exes.
mic, yeah.
Maybe a few exes can say something.
You think they would?
Yeah.
Really?
Like what?
That she has wrath.
Well, that is the movie Wrath, the 7 Deadly Sin story. But you are starring in this movie.
Yes, it is. It's my first film, starring in a film. And the other day I posted that great things happening at the age of 42. Because I used to think a while ago, how come I haven't done film yet? How come I haven't done film yet? And so I'm like literally just getting started. I've done Broadway. I've done a few TV episodes of sitcoms, but film, it's like a new season and a new time for me. So 42 to 82, I guess I'll be doing films.
How is doing film different for you than doing Broadway and...
Broadway, you get one chance.
Right.
But film and television, you have grace because you can film a scene over and over again. They've got to do different angles. You know, you have to keep the same energy in those different angles, but you get more than one chance to get it right. But Broadway is live. I love the live energy of people, and you got one chance to get it right.
And you know, you can mess up in Broadway, and people might not know. Like sometimes in your head.
That is true. You can improv. You got to be very quick and still make it make sense. Still make your mess up make sense. Now that's a life gem. Make it make sense. So yeah, you are right about that.
I want to talk about the 42 and how you said, you couldn't get into film. What do you think the blockage was in your life that you probably cleared out at 42 that allowed that blessing to flow in?
So I'm going to be really, really real. I really did not know about the power of your words. The power of words. I had a friend of mine not too long ago. His name is David Monetier, and one day he called and said, hey, I'm tripping because about the word future, the meaning of the word future. I'm like, bro, you almost 40. I'm going to need you to know what the word future means. He asked me, what do you think it means? I said, it means something that's about to happen. Like it's 9 o'clock right now. 9:01 is the future. He said, no. So we looked up, he said, look up the word future, and it means the time or period of time following the moment of speaking or writing.
The period of time.
Look it up. Look it up. It means more. So I wrote on my board, I want to star in and produce TV and film. That was in late 2020. It was 2020, 2021. I got this film.
Wow. And
I have another script as far as film is concerned. So I think for me, the past couple years, everything that I put on my board has pretty much happened.
So you never was a vision board person before this?
I'm not going to say I wasn't a vision board. I had a vision board in 2017, and a lot of those things, some of those things happen, but things that you pray for, when they come, you're like, I'm not worthy, so you don't steward it well.
Yeah.
You don't know how to handle it, or you feel unworthy, so when you don't feel unworthy, you push it away. And I no longer do that. You all can say y'all been doing this for years. I've been doing this 22 years. So there are a few things that I know I do deserve, things that I know I work for. So I have to speak it or write it. And in due time, those things will happen. So when I learned the power of my words, even there are things that happened that I spoke negative about. And those things happen.
Right. What were some things you had on the board that you said they all happened?
Let's see. I said I wanted to do more corporate type of engagements, speaking engagements. I said even things emotionally. I said I wanted to be healed of childhood hurts and pain and anger. And there are things. What else did I say? There was something that I circled. It might have been I want to star in and filming. I said I want more corporate engagements. I mentioned something about a home. I'm building one. But you do have to put some work in. You just
Absolutely.
can't
You
write
can't
it
just
and
say
be
it
like,
it's gonna happen.
all right.
Absolutely.
No, you got to put work in. And I think your feet will kind of go into the areas that you speak about. Somehow, and I think when your heart is right, the agenda is right. At this point in my life and career, I'm blessed to have done a lot of things. At this point, it's about impact.
That's right. I think that's the most
Impact and
important thing.
influence. Yeah.
I think intention, right? When you're young, you just want to do things because you want to do them. Like you say, I want to be the biggest, whatever, singer, biggest radio personality. It's just a thing, right? But when you get older, it's actually intention.
It
Like,
is
you're
intention.
intentional.
The other day, I was in my hometown of Rockford, Illinois. I was inducted into the Fine Arts Hall of Fame.
Hey,
Okay,
Congratulations.
drop
dropping a
the
clue bomb from
clue
Michelle
bomb,
Williams.
please drop it. And one of my mentors did a tribute, and we were at the Fox Theater in St. Louis on an 8th grade trip. And he said, I will never forget, she stood in that theater and said, I'm going to perform here one day.
Wow.
So this was in the 8th grade. So I'm going back to some words that I spoke as a young child, but didn't know, like the whole thing about sowing and reaping. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. I didn't know all that stuff. I didn't know any of that, even in the 8th grade. And if you Google Michelle Williams and the Fox Theater, she has performed at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, Fox Theater St. Louis.
Wow.
So that even when you just playing and talking out the side of your mouth, it's gonna come back. Now you know. And the law of sowing and reaping don't care if you're ignorant to the law of sowing and reaping.
That's right.
And then
It's
No,
gonna
that's
happen.
real.
So
and Wrath,
if you know the intention of it, you will now be more intentional and careful about what you say. You won't be perfect. I'm gonna make some mistakes. I might have some fear and be like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
You'll say little things like that out of feeling sometimes inferior, or humility makes you feel like, really? I don't know.
That causes a lot of anxiety, too, though, because when you understand the power of your words and you understand that your thoughts become things, when you have those negative thoughts, when you have that self-doubt, when you have that worry, you'll drive yourself crazy because you're like, oh, I'm about to manifest something in my life just because I can't stop thinking about it.
Listen, I'm like, you right, because you'll walk around, okay, don't think that, feel that feeling. Feel that feeling of the fear, but don't sit in it. Don't let it paralyze you, because faith moves everything. Fear moves absolutely nothing. But we are human. We are going to feel afraid and going to even anger. That is an emotion. It is a response to betrayal, to something not going right, to feeling like you're losing control. It's okay, but don't sit in it.
Right.
Don't
why
sit
did you
in
point
it.
at me and say anger?
Oh, because you were about to say something about anger,
no, I
and
was
I
just playing
wanted
with
to
you.
make sure that, I followed.
Oh, no, I was going to say what else is ironic is that when you were younger, you wanted to be a lawyer, and now you're playing a lawyer.
I am playing
Rap.
a lawyer. Come on, Angela. That is true. I wanted to be a prosecuting attorney or a forensic psychiatrist.
Why? What else he's got planted?
Well, my daddy told me that I talk too much and that I need to be a lawyer. My English teacher called my mama every day because I would not shut up. But I saw the movie Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman. And even at that time, I was always intrigued about the mind of people and why they do what they do. Like him, like he's sitting there, like looking at me, and I'm wondering what is going through his mind. How is he processing? And I don't mean what is he looking at, what you looking at, like what is he seeing? What is he thinking? I like to see, that's the problem. It's probably why I'm single. I like to interrogate. I like to get to the core of things, layer by layer, peel the onion back to see
He would be
why people do what they do.
What's that thing in the court that I can't pronounce? The stenographer. There you
The
go.
stenographer.
That's what he would
Court
be.
reporter. Okay.
Yes, he's keeping notes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
And
that's
you know
Brandon.
you can't cheat on a forensic psychiatrist.
You cannot. And you can't cheat on somebody who has a different level of, is the word, discernment. I'm going to feel it before you say it. I'm going to feel it probably before you even do it. I know what you're going to do.
That's a better word to use than crazy. Like, you know she crazy, so you can't. Discernment.
Discernment.
I like that.
Discernment don't have nothing to do with crazy, though.
Well, no, you know how in relationships they'll say like
the dude to be like, man, she crazy. No, she's
she got
on.
discernment.
No,
Yeah, that's
she's
good.
on.
She's
to
actually
you.
psychic. She's clairvoyant.
Yeah, she's on
I actually
to
have
you, bro.
discernment.
Yeah, she's on. She's on to you, and get yourself together. Get it right.
But here's the thing: when you have discernment, even when you know what you're gonna do, that's the other thing, right? A lot of people be knowing but don't do nothing.
You got to almost pick and choose when you're gonna reveal what you know. Sometimes just let time be time. Yeah. Just let time be
I feel like you
time.
have a personal story you want to share about that.
Why she thinks she using discernment right now?
I don't know.
No.
What do you feel? You
like
feel
a
something?
I feel something like a relationship story where you used your discernment to find and
Don't get caught in that
address
trap,
something.
Michelle. You've been out here a long time.
I did.
Don't
I
get caught in that
did.
trap.
I did. I called something specifically,
Really?
and it has happened. God bless.
See, that's it.
It's God bless. God bless.
How hard was it for you, like, to leave? Because, like we said, sometimes you do find something or you know something, and sometimes we feel like we need to see it. Like, you might be like, all right, I know he's doing this. I know this is happening. But for some reason, we want, like, real evidence. You know, like, have you ever said, look, I talked to this woman, called me, but he denied it. And until I see it with my own eyes, I think sometimes we stay in a situation too long because we want to believe what we want to believe instead of what our mind and logic is telling us.
Sometimes you know something even before the person calls you. Sometimes you know something even before you have proof. That is your way of escape.
Yeah.
But like you said, or how many times I need confirmation. I need Jesus to come down here in a Kangol and an Adidas tracksuit before I think it's true. That's when you get even more hurt. I think we are afraid to leave because there's so much fear of being alone. You feel like, well, we weren't together when this happened. You start trying to make excuses for it. And where's this meme that says, red flags look like Six Flags when you're horny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never saw that meme.
Red flags look like Six Flags when you're desperate for love. So you will overlook something. It's different when it's a one-time, even two-time. You give somebody grace. But then it's like, no, this is the core of who you are. You have to make that choice. If you know that that's the core of who you are and you stay, don't call me. Call Jesus.
Jesus might send the prayer to spam.
No, it's like you're choosing to stay in that situation. So God bless.
In the trailer, it seems that your character's trying to get out of an abusive, jealous relationship. So
yeah,
how did you prepare for that role?
Chastity Jeffries. She's so awesome in her career. She has so much success in her career and accolades, and she does not know how to choose as it relates to relationships. How can you be so discerning in your field of law, but you're not discerning in the men that you choose?
That's
right?
a great question.
I feel attacked. Not from you, but I'm talking to myself.
No, I was sitting there thinking, like, I got so many homegirls that are going through that exact same thing.
So she just kind of, before you know it, just kind of wrapped in this man's passions, and she forgets her standards. People say you shouldn't have standards, but she forgets her standards because she's so desperate for love. Again, that red flag looked like Six Flags to her. And she kind of has to go back to it's your parents or whoever is that parental figure in your life will always help bring you back. If you're humble enough to say, I jacked up, what y'all think?
I want to ask you something about that. If the industry, right, like the industry, the music industry that you've been in for so long, if it was a man, would you have stayed with that man?
If the industry was a man.
A man with all the same characteristics that the industry has, if it was a man, would you have stayed with that man?
I've had so many good things to occur and acquire because of it.
But that's what you can say about a bad man too, though.
Ooh!
He did so many good things for me. He's so fun.
Oh.
I had plenty good times with him.
He's paying you really well.
Cause that's why I'm asking that about.
It's not worth it, Miss Seeley. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Color Purple. It ain't worth. Ooh, if the industry were a man, would I have stayed with him?
Cause I wonder
because
why.
of me being dumb at times. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When you want something so bad, Chastity Jeffries, this character wanted something so bad, she kept taking him back. Or was even some deception and deceived. But then when her eyes were open, she ended up having to really fight for her life. Then she was like, okay, all right, it's real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If the industry were a man, would I have stayed? In this season, no. But I've stayed in situations that I knew on the first date I wasn't supposed to be with that person.
Mm.
You know, but again, you want companionship. You're tired of doing things alone. Like I walk in my hotel room last night and I'm like, man, this big old suite, and I can't swing from their chandelier. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
How was it for you working with Bishop T.D. Jakes, Miss Tina Lawson, people that you're comfortable with in real life? For you to star in a movie for the first time and have that family around you?
Bishop Jakes, I read the script and I was like, did he read the same script that I read? Because there's some action that says writhing in sheets. Writhing means tussling.
Oh, so you were writhing in sheets?
Writhing, honey, writhing. And but that's when you, if you believe that fornication is a sin, then you know that before you know it, it creeps in and it takes over, right? And I say that because some people don't think that it is. Sex before marriage is not a sin. Working with Miss Tina was like safety came on set. You know, a parental figure came on set. She's supposed to be in the scene acting, but she's running over to me fixing flyaways because that's what she would do with us on the road. And there were parts in the script where Miss Tina would say, in real life, I don't know, Michelle. You need to pray about that. I don't know, Michelle. Put your sword down. Stop fighting. Stop, So this is real life. And those scenes were pretty powerful with her.
How was the writhing in sheet scenes for you?
Oh, Angela, only because she has such a nice red lip on. I think that's how we get sucked in. Right? It was, I knew my mom and them gonna have to see this. But I am 42 and
it's
different on Broadway. It's different. Theater seems more innocent on Broadway. Movie cameras are on. I mean, they had a camera up top getting. Oh my God, it was a lot.
Like a ceiling mirror.
It was a lot. It was. It felt like a ceiling mirror. I've never been filmed before.
What is? Wait.
That's who you know.
Just playing.
Not with your face in it anyway. Right?
Angela!
Would you like my Palo Santo?
Oh my gosh!
You want me to light it? Let me light it for you. Please put some over there.
Sheesh, as the people say.
Here you go. I'm gonna get it nice and smoky.
I was just playing. I play too much. That's
Lord have mercy.
I play too much.
Jesus Christ.
Did I do it right?
I don't know. There's no right or wrong way.
Okay. All right. Keep going. Keep asking.
Now, when it comes
how
to
did you prepare for those scenes though? Like mentally? The very first scene I had to shoot was the shower scene. They didn't ease me in there. They were like, just get it out the way. Me meeting my male co-star for the first time was in the shower. Wow.
That's wild.
What did you say to each other? Like, okay, so, like, how, I know that has to be awkward.
Did you take an Altoid? You lotioned up? You good? Ooh, he was very friendly, very friendly. He told jokes and disarmed me, and it was cool.
Okay, and then did you have some scenes with Romeo too?
Oh, I did. Okay. I did have scenes with Romeo Miller. Romeo, I've known him. He's younger than me too, so I've known him when he was Lil Romeo, I know he's a grown man now, and so I had to just say, okay, he's grown. Did
you feel like a cougar at all?
I did.
Okay.
I felt like I had every spot on me, leopard-wise, cheetah-wise, absolutely cougar-wise. Is cougar?
I don't know if cougars got spots.
Or is it a solid cat?
I don't know. Let me see.
Cougar. Lord Jesus, because the folks, I don't want the folks to.
I think it's
I thought you said solid. I thought you said salad. I was like, what?
No. I felt like
stripes.
I felt like all the feline animals.
Nah, they ain't got no spots.
So is it easier to do a scene like that with somebody who you don't know or somebody who you've known since they were young?
I feel like it's easier to do something with someone that you feel like you haven't looked at them as a child. And
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, I would call him like, that's little bro.
Right.
But he was so friendly, so respectful. We had great conversation, and I'm like, he's grown. He's in his 30s, so it's like, just know that it's okay.
It's acting.
Yeah, it's acting.
Now, what is the lesson that, and this might be a question for Bishop Jakes, but what's the lesson that he's trying to get across with these 7 deadly sin stories?
As far as wrath, even lust, envy, greed, sometimes you don't think of them as being deadly sins. The reason why wrath is so dangerous, because it's one thing to have anger with someone. Wrath is another level where I want to pay you back to kill you.
And you eventually harm yourself, too, more than anybody.
You harm yourself. You lose everything you work for. Wrath means it's some vengeance. It's like you want to play God at that point.
Yeah.
Anger is like, okay, it's a reaction. It's a response. I hate that you betrayed me. I hate that you stole from me. I hate that even you could be angry because you didn't get what you wanted. I get it. But wrath, I had to think about, have I had moments where I've had wrath? And I have to say yes.
Really?
I have to say yes, absolutely.
Well, you wanted to take somebody out?
I wanted to take somebody out. I drove to my therapist that day.
So much so that it was destroying you? Because that's ultimately what I think wrath is. That's why it's so forgiveness, you got to let things go. Because it'll eat you up.
If you look up the physical effects of anger, did you know eczema? That could be a side effect of anger.
I didn't know that.
Insomnia.
I knew stress.
Depression, loss of appetite. There are so many physical, high blood pressure. There are so many physical side effects of anger, which is, it's okay to be angry. Scripture says, all right, be angry, but don't sin. It says, be angry, but sin not. Or don't let the sun go down on your wrath. If you can, don't let the day go by without you at least addressing how angry you are. I will never forget, I talk about it in my book, how I had a moment where someone used to work with me. I hate saying work for it. We worked together, and they did something, and it made me so angry that I thought of the worst payback. And I literally had to get in my truck. I drove to my therapist's office, and a client was walking out. She comes out her office. She literally says, Tanitra. I said, I need to see you. And it was so divine because she said that the person that was in that time slot canceled. And we talked about why I was so angry. We peeled the onion back. So for me, I felt like I'm too good. I'm so good to people. Why can't you be honest with me? And she said, okay. She said, okay, let's peel it on back. And then it was me feeling used, that you only are working with me to get something from me so that you can leave me dip and do your thing and build your thing. But I was so angry and full of wrath because I felt like I'm too good to people. I'm so good. I'm really like loyal to a fault. Or, and so when you start thinking about that, you do get angry because you're like, I didn't deserve that.
Well, you are a businesswoman, right? So there's always that saying, there's no permanent friends or enemies, just permanent interests when it comes to business. Have you gotten to that space?
You know what? I'm in that space. My thing is, when you have people that work with you, for you, I was telling someone earlier that a person doesn't want to be your assistant forever.
Right.
That's right.
They're going to eventually have to grow and work. But then there are some people, they are just called to serve. They feel like, Charlamagne, I don't want to do what you do. I want to push you in what you're doing. And I know as long as you go, I'm going. But I'm not trying to sit here and take all your contacts and form a company.
I love those kind of people, by the way. We need more of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
But like I said, I am acknowledging those who work with you,
That's right.
who eventually they want to be a host
and you
as
want,
well.
and you also want to be able to help people get in
Yeah,
that position,
absolutely.
because then you give somebody else a chance once they, are able to blossom into whatever it is that they're doing.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, how hard is it then to be able to continue to trust somebody and to still be so good to people after you get burned? Are you okay to be able to just automatically say, okay, that was just one situation and I can continue to treat people how I've been treating them? Or do you say, okay, maybe I need to make changes in the way that I interact with people who work with me?
I don't want to change in how I interact with someone, but I do make adjustments that aren't announced.
Right.
Meaning, you used to be right here. Now I done put you over here. I still speak to you when I see you, but you just kind of, you're in a different seat now in the arena of my life.
Because even when you get somebody else to take that position, let's say that person
Oh, I haven't
leaves.
had anybody in that position since.
Okay.
So God's got to work on me, on trust.
I wonder if that's even possible
Yeah,
to even have
yeah.
those kind of people anymore because of the social media era. So everybody got followers, so everybody feel like they got a
know.
fan base, I guess. I literally was watching the old Hot 97 performance when Jay-Z bought out Michael Jackson. And it was like, you see Tata right there beside him. You know what I mean? And I think about people like Emery, and I'm like, man, all them brothers ever wanted to do was play their position.
And that, thank God that they were before their era of social
Yes.
media. There are people that I still call on to this day for assistance, for help. My publicist, 22 years of relationship. Yvette, she was there before so she ain't trying to do selfies while you getting your hair and makeup done. She ain't trying to also be in the pictures on the record. Like, she knows what her job is to do. But people like that, you want to honor them. You want to bring them on the red carpet with you because you know that that's not what they want.
And she goes hard. Listen, let somebody say something bad. Yvette is on the phone.
Yvette is there. People like that, you know their agenda is pure. You want to honor. You want to make them public. That's why I can say her name because, I mean, she's a great example of time, letting time do what time does. People will honor you. People will bring you to the front. But if that's your agenda all along, tell me.
Word.
Hey, I want to be an actor,
Word.
but I'll assist you, but I'm finna go on some auditions. Tell me.
Word.
Right.
So I can
Word.
know, that's why you act the way you act.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Now, when it comes to this movie, a 7 Deadly Sins story, this is about wrath. What is your relationship? I saw in the trailer you and your dad on here having a conversation. So what's the relationship with your character Chastity with her father in this? Because it feels like that's pivotal too.
It is very pivotal. Chastity's dad is played by Peter Bryant. His character's name is Victor Jeffries. He's also a successful attorney, has his own law firm, killing it, balling, beautiful home. But they have some friction because of she feels like her dad wants her to be perfect. There's also, I think, some competition there. And I think that's when the guy, my character, Xavier, he actually comes in and he says something about my father. That's when I should have been like, all right, you done went too far. I get what you're saying, but that's not your position or place or authority to speak on my father right now. And I just think there is some, she doesn't want to trust her dad and have some humility as it relates to her father. She does the, I'm grown.
Right.
I know you said the stove is hot. I want to touch it anyway.
Yeah, because sometimes your parents don't like somebody And that makes you go even harder to try to prove them wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been in that place, not with my father per se, but my mother did not care for someone. And I remember being strong and wrong.
Right.
You don't like him, but you gonna have to respect him. Baby,
She was right.
she was right. And I had to tell her out of my mouth, Mom, you were right. And that's the thing with Chastity and her father in this movie. Dad, ooh, you were right. You know, even in real life, being vulnerable, I was sharing with someone, being vulnerable feels yucky for me. It feels...
Even now?
I hate it. I don't like it. Being vulnerable, it feels like you are literally walking around here with your clothes off and you ain't do no lunges, you ain't do no squat. You like, I don't want you to see me like this right now. Ooh, I don't like it. So to have to tell somebody, man, ooh, you were right. And shame, Dad, you believe in me so much, you know that I'm smart, but I failed in this area. I know better. I don't know if you've had moments like that where you feel like you've let somebody down, like, I knew better. You told me that, you told me. You know, but I didn't listen.
Right.
I wanted that Six Flags. I wanted those hills, dips, loops, thrills, and chills.
Was this movie a trigger for you?
Yeah, it was, because I had to deal with areas of anger. I think sometimes art imitates life, and I have to allow it to be healing. Even some Broadway shows that were comedic, like Chicago the Musical, or there were lessons in every, Suge Avery, Color Purple. My lesson in that was let your yes be yes, your no be no. Suge Avery, you can say what you wanted about her, but her yes was yes, her no was no. So my thing as a 42-year-old woman, don't let anger in some places shows you also areas where you're still immature, where you should be past this by now, you know, yeah.
So you said you have more scripts. So what's next after this?
I wrote down, I want to do meaningful movies. Meaningful. My life has been amazing, meaningful. It's been bitter, it's been sweet, but it's been meaningful, and I want the roles that I choose to reflect that.
You know, I wanted to ask you about a couple of other things too. I wanted to ask you about your basketball team, right?
WNBA Chicago Sky champions.
That's right, and there's always these conversations about, you know, women's pay in the WNBA and how do we improve that. As an owner,
yes, sir.
What do you think is lacking?
I think I feel like when you watch the WNBA games, and I'm guilty, you know, I haven't been to a lot of them. I probably get slandered for that. But it's like the arenas aren't filled until the championships. Everybody is there versus filling in the seats that makes it make sense when people are looking at the paper, you know, for money to be, because companies and corporations, they have to give dollars and they have to see. It's unfortunate, but I feel like they have to see why it's worth giving money. It sucks because the talent is there. What I'm saying, it's because I don't want anybody to take this sound bite, but it sucks. But it sucks that companies have to look at, instead of just, as they say, you know, taking a chance on women, and giving them what they really do.
So it needs more consumer support.
Yeah.
It needs more support from the consumer, because if I'm an advertiser, I'm like, well, if nobody's watching, why would I spend my money there?
So exactly. Yes, sir.
But then the marketing and the money from corporations helps you to get more people. It's a building process.
That is so true. That's so true. I'll never forget the first meetings was, Michelle, you're probably not going to see a return. You know, but I'll never forget those first few years of when I was living in Chicago, and how kids from inner city neighborhoods could come to the game, sit on the front row, and touch these people.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's what it was about for me. That's what it was about.
That would be a good, meaningful project for you, some type of docuseries on the team or something. That's a great marketing tool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the guy, he was almost like so doom and gloom. Even the lead investor was like, you're probably not going to. But that's hometown area for me. I'm from Rockford.
Right.
You know, the folks from Rockford be like, stop saying you from Chicago. Okay, I'm from Rockford. Okay, so my hometown area, it was good to make an investment in that area. So that's how I see it.
Then you connect to certain players when you get to see like their stories. And then that'll probably make you want to watch the games more if you can see like what everybody has gone through to get where they are.
To get to where they are. That's so true.
Has it been profitable for you?
Charlamagne.
It takes time. Investments take time.
I mean, that was 17 years ago, I think.
Wow.
I can't believe it's been that long.
I feel like that should be big. I feel like that should be a bigger story.
It's been 17 years.
That you're the owner of a actual professional sports team.
When they went to their championships, people probably Googled the team and see who the investors are. And so there was a little rumbling about it.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
I got to do better. I got to market myself. But could you imagine? I think it's weird I'm not in the space or the person to be like, I did this.
Yeah, but it's more
I invested in this.
But
the
it's
guys
more,
do it.
Yeah, but it's more also like I invested in this team because I believe in them and I invested in my community.
I did that in the interviews.
Yeah.
That's 2005, so they're going to have to go
you
back.
gotta keep on going. You got to keep on doing it. That's because trust me, they'll love it. As much as that's your humility.
That's the thing even about social media is that's content. People, did y'all see that? Did you see I'm finna sign on the dotted line? We don't come from that era where you're putting everything out there. We don't. That's been so weird too. Is the social media thing? It's like I have loads of stuff in here, but I'm like, people might think that's corny, so I don't even post it.
No, I'm with you. I think it is cool. I don't like to announce nothing until it's announced. When it's out there, okay, hey, I want y'all to go support this.
Then it's like I can repost what Variety, posted, but yeah, I don't.
Nowadays, people take the picture as soon as they walk in the building. Hey, look at me, before they even have the meeting.
No.
Now your podcast checking in.
Come on, I want to say shout out. Are you my boss?
No.
You're not
we
like
work
my
together.
boss?
We're partners.
Okay, we're partners.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, checking in on the Black Effect Podcast Network. Thank you for season 2.
No, thank you for creating great content for us to want to do a season 2.
Thank you so much. It has been a joy. Shout out to the team. You already know Dolly, Nicole, Samantha, Ihaku.
And you were nominated for an NAACP Image Award.
You were nominated for an NAACP Image Award, and I really wanted that.
It'll happen.
You had Sherry Warren on, too. We had her up here as well. That
yes,
story is so...
she is the episode this week, Sherry Warren and Justice for her brother, Keith. Sherry looked at me. She said, you don't remember me, do you? And I was like, it's one of those, I know your face. I haven't seen Sherry in person in probably 17, 18 years or more. Wow. But she used to work in radio or promo or something at Columbia Records and driving us around to radio interviews and stuff like that. And so I told her in that moment, I felt so horrible because I didn't know that that's what she was going through, even while we were working together.
I said the same thing to her because I've known her for a while too. And her page on Instagram, her name is like Justice for Keith.
Yep.
And I didn't even know the full story because she's like, I just don't go around broadcasting, what I've been through. And I felt horrible. I said the same thing to her. I didn't know. Yeah. And it's just interesting that she, even with people that she could have tapped into, that could have really elevated this story.
Absolutely.
She, I felt bad. Like I would have definitely done anything I could have done at that time.
But that speaks to when we were talking about the folks that came up working now that's when you broadcast something. That's when you say, Michelle, we need to talk. Michelle, and I told her at that time there was no way had we known that we would have let her go through that by herself. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle has to go. We just got the text.
Oh.
It literally said Michelle has to leave.
Okay.
You telling a lie.
I'm
You
not
better
lying.
light
Look,
that palo
look,
up again for
I
your
just
lies.
got the text.
Oh, I did.
Look,
It says have to wrap up.
Michelle has to leave.
It does say that.
If you busy, you busy. Okay.
Oh, I think she sent a text saying, tell them I have to leave.
And light her up.
Make sure you subscribe to the Checking In podcast with Michelle Williams.
Please subscribe to the Checking In podcast, partner with Black Effect and iHeartRadio.
And watch Wrath, a 7 Deadly Sin story.
I love a Lifetime movie.
On the 16th.
That is why
know I love a
everybody
Lifetime movie.
loves Lifetime.
Saturday, 8 p.m. on Lifetime.
Ooh, let Wrath be one of the highest rated movies on Lifetime. It will be one of the highest rated.
It will be.
That's what we got to
And
speak.
you got Bishop T.D. Jakes praying for that too. It'll happen.
You pray for it too. God hears your prayers, Charlamagne.
He definitely does.
Angela.
She does.
Yeah, God hears your prayers, my friend. Everybody.
It's Michelle Williams. It's The Breakfast Club.